The ruins of New London were quiet but not peaceful. Smoke still drifted from broken buildings, and the air carried the bitter smell of fire. Humanity had fallen hard. The Emperor's fleet had crushed their cities, burned their pride, and left the survivors scattered like leaves in the wind. But even in the shadows of defeat, a spark of hope remained. In a hidden underground lab, the human resistance gathered around a strange alien device. It was sleek and dark, covered in symbols no one could read. Its surface pulsed with a faint blue light, almost like it had a heartbeat of its own. Captain Mara Voss, leader of the resistance, leaned closer. "We have to understand this," she said. "If the Emperor thinks he's finished us, he's wrong." The resistance scientists worked day and night, probing the device, studying its energy, and cautiously powering it up. They discovered something incredible. The machine contained ancient technology, far beyond anything humans had imagined. Its systems could enhance weapons, repair ships in hours instead of days, and even create shields that could withstand the Emperor's energy cannons. "Do you see this?" whispered Jaren, the youngest engineer, pointing at the device's core. "This isn't just a tool. It's a blueprint. It can teach us. It can make us stronger." Mara's eyes lit up. "Then that's exactly what we'll do. We'll show the Emperor that humanity is not done. We'll adapt, we'll survive, and we'll fight back." Outside the lab, the danger was real. Alien spies moved through the shadows of the ruined city, scanning for any signs of human activity. Every patrol that passed was a threat. One wrong move and the resistance could be wiped out before they even began. The spies were clever, trained to track the smallest human footprints. But the humans had learned to be clever too. They moved silently through hidden tunnels, covered their trails, and struck only when the odds were in their favor. The first small victories came quietly. Mara led a team to a wrecked alien supply ship hidden in the outskirts of the city. Using the knowledge gleaned from the device, they repaired it and made it fly again. It wasn't much, just a single ship, but it was proof that humanity could take the Emperor's technology and turn it to their own advantage. Then they found weapons, alien rifles and energy cannons, discarded or abandoned in the chaos. Engineers and scientists worked tirelessly, learning how to use them, how to improve them, and how to make them more efficient. With every new tool, humans began to understand the weaknesses of the Emperor's forces. They learned that alien shields faltered under rapid bursts, that their engines could be overloaded, and that their sensors could be tricked by simple misdirection. Jaren grinned as he tested a modified cannon. "It works, and it works better than theirs," he said, showing Mara the readings on the monitor. "The Emperor never expected us to learn this fast." Indeed, the humans were learning faster than anyone could have imagined. The Emperor had crushed Earth, but he had underestimated the very thing that made humans dangerous: their ability to adapt. Every failure, every defeat was a lesson. Every setback became a stepping stone toward something greater. Days passed, and the resistance grew bolder. They conducted small raids against alien patrols, stealing supplies and testing their new weapons. Each success gave them confidence. Each victory, no matter how small, reminded them that they were not completely powerless. But then came the message that changed everything. Jaren had been monitoring alien communications when he noticed an unusual transmission. The signal was heavily encrypted, but he worked quickly to decode it. What he discovered made his blood run cold. "It's a plan," Jaren said, his voice shaking. "The Emperor, he's planning a massive attack. Entire fleets, cities, Earth itself. He wants to wipe out anyone left alive." Mara's face hardened. "Then we have no time. We need to prepare. Every ship, every weapon, every human we can find, we strike before they do. We cannot wait for them to destroy us again." The room fell silent as the reality sank in. The Emperor's forces were powerful, but now humans had knowledge, courage, and something the aliens did not: the will to survive against impossible odds. Mara looked around at her team. "We have the advantage they never expected. We know their weaknesses, and we have the means to fight back. This is the beginning of the unexpected war. The war they think we cannot win, we will win it." Outside, the city lay in ruins. But beneath the broken streets and shattered towers, a new force was rising. Humans were no longer hiding. They were learning, adapting, and planning. And soon, the Emperor would discover that crushing Earth's pride had not ended humanity. It had awakened it. The first strike of the resistance was only the beginning. The resistance had grown stronger, but the city was still dangerous. Every corner hid enemies. Every shadow could conceal alien scouts. The humans had learned to move carefully, silently, like ghosts. But even ghosts leave traces. And the Emperor's spies were clever. Captain Mara Voss stood on the rooftop of a ruined skyscraper, overlooking the city. Smoke curled from the wreckage, and the orange glow of fires reflected in her eyes. Around her, the resistance team prepared small ships for reconnaissance. Jaren checked the instruments, scanning for alien patrols. "They're out there," he said, pointing to flickering lights on the horizon. "They know we're regrouping. But they don't know what we've learned." Mara nodded. "Then we'll use that. Every mistake they make, we turn it into an advantage." The humans were learning quickly. They had studied the alien device and the captured weapons. They understood shield weaknesses, engine flaws, and how to manipulate energy weapons to backfire on their operators. Every raid, every skirmish taught them more. They were no longer running. They were fighting smart. Their first operation in this new phase was daring. Mara led a team of 5 through a network of tunnels beneath the city. Above, alien patrols moved in predictable patterns. Below, humans moved silently, hearts pounding but minds focused. Their target, a communications hub the aliens used to coordinate attacks. Jaren worked quickly at the hub's main console. "If I can get into their system, we can intercept transmissions and anticipate their moves," he whispered. Sparks flew from his tools as he hacked into alien protocols. The team held their breath. Outside, faint footsteps echoed. Suddenly, the lights flickered and the hum of the machines changed. "They're onto us," said Mara calmly. "Stay sharp." With seconds to spare, Jaren finished decoding the signal. He pulled back the data. "We did it. We can see their patrol routes, supply drops, even minor fleets moving in space. This is bigger than I thought." Mara's eyes narrowed. "Good, now we plan. Every strike we make will hit where it hurts them most." But the resistance wasn't just studying alien technology. They were watching human heroes emerge. One of them was Lieutenant Kale, a pilot whose bravery and instinct had become legendary in the resistance. Kyle had survived 3 attacks that should have ended him, saving civilians and fighting off alien soldiers with nothing but skill and courage. Kyle's next mission was critical. He would lead a strike team in the first open-air engagement with alien forces since the fall of New London. Mara knew the risks, but she also knew it was time to make the Emperor pay attention. The night of the mission, Kale's small squad slipped through the alien blockade. They used shadows, broken streets, and the city's rubble to their advantage. When the first alien scout ship appeared, Kale and his team attacked, disabling engines and scattering the patrol. They moved fast, precise, unstoppable. The battle was over before the aliens even knew what had hit them. The resistance had struck fear into the hearts of their oppressors. Word spread quickly among human hideouts. The Emperor's forces were not invincible, but danger still loomed. The Emperor's spies were relentless, observing human movements from hidden drones and distant outposts. One night, Jaren intercepted a transmission that chilled him. "They're preparing for something massive," he told Mara. "I don't know what, but it's coming." Mara clenched her fists. "Then we prepare. We've learned their weaknesses, we've fought back, and we've grown stronger. Whatever they plan, we will be ready." The humans trained harder, adapted faster, and worked tirelessly to modify captured alien ships. They were no longer survivors. They were warriors, and their shadow grew across the ruins of New London. But the biggest surprise came from intelligence. Kale, analyzing patterns in alien movements, discovered a shocking truth. The Emperor himself was planning to lead the next assault on Earth. The entire fleet, commanded personally by the ruler who had humiliated humanity, was moving closer. "This changes everything," Mara said grimly. "We can't fight blindly. We have to be clever. We have to strike before he even lands." The city lay in ruins below, but it was alive with human ingenuity. Hidden workshops hummed with activity. Underground labs glowed with alien technology, and resistance fighters trained silently in shadows. Humanity was learning, adapting, and preparing to face the Emperor himself. Mara looked out at the horizon, where the first glimmer of the alien fleet appeared as tiny points of light in the night sky. Her heart raced, not with fear but with determination. "They think Earth is broken," she whispered. "But we are the rising shadows they cannot see, and soon they will learn the cost of underestimating us." In the distance, the faint hum of alien engines grew louder. Humanity's fight was far from over, but now they were ready. The unexpected war had begun. The night was thick with smoke and silence, broken only by the distant hum of alien patrols. Humanity had grown stronger, but every step outside the safe zones was a risk. Mara Voss stood atop a crumbling building, staring at the dark horizon. She could see the faint glow of alien supply depots in the distance, their lights flickering like fireflies. "This is it," she whispered to Jaren, who was scanning the area with his portable sensors. "Tonight we show them that Earth fights back." The Resistance had planned carefully. They had studied alien movements for weeks, analyzed weaknesses in their ships, and modified stolen technology. Every weapon, every ship, and every strategy had been tested and retested. Tonight's mission was risky, a direct strike on a supply station, but it could cripple the Emperor's forces if it succeeded. Lieutenant Kale led a small squad of human pilots. Their ships were older, patched together from debris and salvage parts, but they had one advantage: speed and stealth. The alien patrols relied on numbers and power, not cunning. Humanity would use its brains to fight their might. As the team slipped through the shadows, the hum of alien engines grew louder. Kale's fingers moved swiftly over the controls, guiding the ship through narrow canyons of ruined skyscrapers. Every second counted. Every mistake could mean death. They reached the perimeter of the supply station. Alien guards patrolled in predictable patterns, unaware that humans had learned their habits. Kale gave a quiet signal. Small explosive charges set by the Resistance engineers were planted at key points along the station. "On my mark," Kale whispered. A faint click echoed through the comms. Mara's heart pounded. She had been in battles before, but nothing like this. The humans were outnumbered, outgunned, and yet they were not afraid. Fear had no place here. Only precision and courage mattered. Kale's hand went down. Explosions erupted across the alien station. The supply depot's walls crumbled, energy shields faltered, and ships that had been fueled and armed for the Emperor's next attack were destroyed before they could even take off. The night sky lit up with fire and sparks as alien engineers ran in confusion. From above, Mara watched with a mixture of awe and pride. "It's working," she murmured. "We can do this." But victory came with danger. Alien reinforcements began to converge on the area. Drones scanned the streets below, searching for signs of the humans. Kale's squad, skilled and fast, engaged the reinforcements. Laser fire streaked across the sky. Human ships darted between explosions, avoiding the heavier alien weapons. Every move was precise. Every strike counted. Jaren monitored from the underground lab. "They're hitting back harder than expected," he said.
"Kyle, be careful."
"They're learning." Kale grinned, a flash of defiance in his eyes. "Let them learn. We'll be ready for their next mistake." The first strike had done more than destroy a supply depot. It had sent a message. Humanity was no longer hiding. Humanity was fighting back. Above the city, the Emperor's spies communicated rapidly. Panic spread among the aliens. "The humans, they've grown bold. They've learned our patterns. They've struck our supply lines." One officer shouted. The Emperor, far in his throne room aboard the flagship orbiting Earth, clenched his fists. "They will pay for this," he said, voice cold as steel. "Prepare the fleet. I will lead the next assault personally." Meanwhile, on Earth, the humans regrouped. They had taken losses, ships destroyed, fighters injured, but they had gained something far more valuable: confidence. They had proven that even against overwhelming power, they could strike decisively and that cleverness could defeat brute force. Mara looked at her team. "Tonight we have done what many thought impossible. We've shown them that Earth will not bow quietly, but this is only the beginning. The Emperor will retaliate, and when he does, we must be ready." The city beneath them was still in ruins, but a spark had been lit. Humans moved through the darkness, gathering what they could, repairing ships, and preparing for the next strike. Each small victory made them bolder. Each battle made them smarter, and in the shadow above, the Emperor's fleet stirred. Alien ships gathered in silent formation, engines glowing like distant stars. The humans' defiance had not gone unnoticed. The stage was set for a confrontation unlike any the galaxy had seen. Kale adjusted his flight controls, staring at the burning horizon. "They think they can scare us," he said quietly. "But they have no idea what's coming." Mara nodded, her eyes steely. "Then let them learn the cost of underestimating Earth. The first strike had been a warning. The war was no longer in the shadows, it had begun in earnest. The ruins of Earth had become a battlefield of shadows. Fires still burned in distant cities, and the smoke hung low over streets scarred by alien weapons. But the humans were no longer hiding. They had grown stronger, smarter, and more determined than ever. Captain Mara Voss stood on the bridge of the Resistance's flagship, watching the glowing map of alien fleets. Every movement of the Emperor's ships was marked, every weakness noted. Humanity was about to play a game the Emperor never expected. "We strike tonight," Mara said, her voice calm but firm. "Every ship, every fighter, every human we can move, we hit where it hurts them most. We show them that Earth fights back and we fight smart." Lieutenant Kale leaned over the map. "We've studied their patrols, their supply lines, even the way they communicate. We know their weak points. If we hit fast and hard, we can cripple their fleet before they even know what's happening." Jaren, monitoring alien communications, nodded. "I've intercepted their codes. They're reorganizing after the last strike, but they don't know we've already adapted. We have the advantage if we act carefully." The humans moved with precision. Small squads targeted supply lines, ambushed patrols, and sabotaged energy stations. Every strike was calculated, leaving the aliens confused and off balance. The Emperor had expected submission. Instead, he faced a force that learned, adapted, and struck with ruthless efficiency. Kale led a squadron of sleek, modified human fighters through the shadows of space. Each ship was armed with weapons scavenged from fallen alien craft, enhanced using the knowledge from the ancient device. Their speed and agility made them deadly. "We're in," Kale said, eyes focused on the glowing enemy fleet. "Stick to the plan, hit fast. Retreat before they can react." Explosions lit the darkness as the humans struck. Alien ships were disabled, shields overloaded, and supply depots destroyed. Humans moved like shadows through the fleet, impossible to predict, impossible to stop. For every ship the aliens destroyed, the humans destroyed too. Back on Earth, Mara watched the battle unfold on screens. Every success lifted the spirits of the Resistance fighters scattered across the planet. Small communities of humans joined the fight, supplying intelligence, equipment, and manpower. The war was no longer just the Resistance, it was all of humanity rising together. But the Emperor was far from defeated. His flagship loomed over the planet, massive and imposing, radiating energy that made even seasoned human soldiers tremble. The intercepted transmissions Jaren had decoded earlier revealed a chilling truth. The Emperor planned to lead the next assault personally, crushing every human stronghold. Mara clenched her fists. "Then we prepare for him," she said. "Every trap, every ambush, every plan. We must use everything we've learned to survive. This is the moment we strike at his throne, or we risk losing everything." Kale's squadron returned from the attack battered but victorious. Their small ships had proven deadly, but the losses reminded them how dangerous the enemy still was. Humanity had gained momentum, but the Emperor was gathering strength for the ultimate counterattack. In a hidden bunker, Jaren worked tirelessly, analyzing alien codes, searching for patterns in the Emperor's fleet movements. "He thinks he's in control," he muttered. "But he underestimates us." Again, the humans prepared their gambit. Using the ancient device, they set traps in the enemy's flight paths, overloaded energy conduits on alien ships, and set decoy signals to mislead the fleet. It was risky, but if it worked, it could turn the Emperor's personal fleet into chaos before he even reached Earth. As the humans moved into position, the first signals of the Emperor's approach appeared on the scanners. His massive ships cut through the void of space, engines blazing, weapons ready. Every human felt the tension, the weight of the coming battle pressing down. Mara's voice cut through the comms, steady and commanding. "Remember what we've learned. Stay fast, stay smart, stay alive. Tonight we fight not just to survive, but to show the Emperor the cost of underestimating humanity." The fleet moved. Explosions erupted across the alien lines as humans struck with calculated precision. Ships collided, shields faltered, and the Emperor's forces reeled from attacks they had not seen coming. It was chaos, but the humans thrived in it. Kale's squadron maneuvered through the wreckage, disabling key targets and creating paths for the next wave. Every strike was a gamble, every move a test of skill and courage. But humans had learned to adapt faster than anyone expected. And then at the edge of space, the Emperor's flagship appeared, massive and glowing with power. Mara's eyes narrowed. This was it. The final confrontation was coming, and humanity had prepared everything they could. Kale looked at the approaching ship. He thinks he's unbeatable, he said quietly. But he's about to learn that Earth fights back, and we never surrender. Mara nodded, determination burning in her eye. The Emperor's flagship loomed above Earth like a dark storm, its massive hull glowing with energy. The human fleet trembled under its shadow, but fear had been replaced by determination. Humanity had learned, adapted, and fought back. Now they faced the final challenge, the Emperor himself. Captain Mara Voss stood on the bridge of the flagship human ship Resolute, staring at the enemy warship. Her hands clenched the console, her heart steady. "This is it," she said. "All our training, all our sacrifices, it ends tonight." Lieutenant Kale checked his squadron's weapons. "We've crippled their supply lines, ambushed patrols, and outsmarted their fleet. But he's here, Mara. The Emperor is here. We cannot fail." The humans had a plan, a gambit so bold that it seemed almost impossible. Using the ancient alien device, they had discovered a flaw in the Emperor's energy system. It was small, hidden deep within the core, but enough to destabilize his shields and destroy his fleet if exploited correctly. It would take precision, timing, and courage. Mara turned to Jaren. "Are the codes ready?" Jaren nodded, fingers flying over the console. "All set. Once we trigger the device, it will overload their core systems. The Emperor won't see it coming." Kale's squadron launched first, diving straight into the heart of the enemy fleet. Alien ships swarmed, energy beams lighting the dark void of space. The humans weaved between blasts, dodging lasers, disabling ships with pinpoint strikes. Every move counted. Every second mattered. From the flagship, Mara watched as the chaos unfolded. Her heart beat in sync with the energy of the ancient device. She could feel it pulsing, alive, waiting for the moment. The Emperor's forces were strong, but humans were faster, smarter, and more daring than he had ever imagined. The human fleet converged on the Emperor's flagship. Kale's squadron flew in tight formation, weaving through laser fire. Mara gave the signal. Jaren activated the device. A pulse of blue energy shot from the human ships toward the core of the Emperor's ship. The flagship shuddered. Lights flickered. Shields wavered. The Emperor's eyes widened in disbelief as systems began to fail. His mighty energy cannons sputtered. His fleet, once perfectly ordered, descended into chaos. "Impossible!" the Emperor shouted, voice booming across the void. "How can they?" Kale and his squadron dove in, striking key systems, igniting chain reactions in the remaining ships. Explosions tore through the enemy fleet as humans moved with precision, turning the Emperor's strength against him. On the Resolute, Mara's fingers hovered over the final control. This is it. For Earth. For humanity. She pressed the command. The ancient device unleashed a final pulse. The Emperor's flagship erupted in a blinding explosion, ripping through the void. The alien fleet fractured, retreating in panic. The pride of the Emperor crumbled in seconds, leaving only scattered remnants of his once mighty forces. Silence fell across the battlefield. The stars were calm again. Humans floated among the wreckage, battered but victorious. Kale's squad returned, ships glowing with minor damage, pilots exhausted but alive. Mara breathed deeply, letting the moment sink in. "We did it," she whispered. "Earth is free." But victory was more than survival. It was a message. The galaxy had underestimated humanity, humiliated Earth, and thought the species could be crushed. They were wrong. Humanity had endured, adapted, and risen stronger than ever. On the ground, humans emerged from hiding, watching the sky light up with alien debris. Children and elders, soldiers and survivors all stared in awe. They had witnessed the impossible, the fall of an empire that had claimed to be unstoppable. Mara turned to Kale. "This is only the beginning. We have proven we can fight, but the galaxy is wide. Others may come and others will test us, but now they will know. Humanity cannot be ignored. Humanity cannot be broken. Kyle nodded, a proud smile on his face. And we'll be ready. No one will underestimate Earth again. The resistance celebrated quietly. There were no grand speeches, no parades. Humanity was not done rebuilding. Cities needed repair, families needed care, and the planet itself needed healing. But the spark of hope burned brighter than ever. Far away, in the remnants of the Emperor's empire, fear spread among his followers. They had seen what humans could do. They had seen their leader fall, and they would remember the price of underestimating a species that refused to die. Mara looked at the sky, where the last of the alien fleet vanished. Earth has risen, she said softly, and the galaxy will never forget it. In the silence of the aftermath, a new dawn broke over the planet. Humanity stood tall, victorious, and ready to face whatever challenges the universe would throw at them next. The Emperor's throne was shattered. His empire crumbled, and a lesson had been written across the stars. Never humiliate Earth, for humanity always rises. The Emperor's flagship hung above Earth like a dark storm, massive and glowing with deadly energy. From orbit, the planet looked fragile, scarred from years of war. Yet the humans aboard their ships were ready. Fear had been replaced with determination. Humanity had endured, adapted, and now they faced the final test, the Emperor himself. Captain Mara Voss stood on the bridge of the human flagship Resolute. Her eyes scanned the enemy fleet, lights of ships flickering across the void. "This is it," she said, voice steady. "Everything we've fought for comes down to this moment." Lieutenant Kale checked the squadron's weapons, his hands steady despite the tension. "We've crippled their supply lines, ambushed patrols, and outsmarted their fleet. But this is the Emperor himself. One mistake and it's over." The humans had one advantage, the ancient alien device. It had revealed a hidden flaw deep in the Emperor's flagship. A single pulse could destabilize his shields, shut down his weapons, and even destroy his fleet if timed correctly. It was risky, almost impossible, but it was humanity's only chance. Jaren's fingers flew over the console. "The codes are ready. Once we fire the device, everything in the Emperor's ship goes haywire. He won't see it coming." Kale's squadron shot forward first, slicing through the darkness of space. Alien patrols swarmed around them, lasers streaking like deadly ribbons. The human pilots dodged, struck, and disappeared before the aliens could react. Each strike was precise, calculated. Every second mattered. On the Resolute, Mara gripped the control panel. The device pulsed with blue energy. It felt alive, waiting, watching. When the time came, it would be the difference between life and death. Kale's squadron reached the heart of the enemy fleet. "Target locked," he whispered. "Wait for the signal." Mara's hand hovered over the command. She took a deep breath. Now, the device unleashed its pulse. A wave of blue energy shot toward the Emperor's flagship. Shields faltered, systems overloaded. The massive warship shuddered as the core began to destabilize. The Emperor's eyes widened in disbelief. "Impossible!" he shouted, voice booming across the void. How can this be?" Kale's squadron struck again, targeting the flagship's energy conduits. Explosions ripped through the alien fleet, chain reactions tearing ships apart. The once perfect formation collapsed into chaos. The Emperor's might, feared across the galaxy, crumbled before human cunning. Mara pressed the final sequence. The flagship erupted in a blinding explosion, sending shockwaves across space. The remaining alien ships fled, scattered and broken. Humanity had won. Silence fell. Stars reflected off the debris of destroyed ships, floating silently in space. Humans drifted among the wreckage, battered but alive. Kyle's squad returned, ships glowing from minor damage. Their eyes held exhaustion and pride. Mara exhaled slowly. "We did it. Earth is free." The victory was more than survival. It was a statement. Humanity could not be crushed. Humanity could not be ignored. The galaxy had humiliated Earth, but now it had learned a harsh lesson. On the ground, survivors watched the sky, the explosions turning into fading sparks. Children and elders, fighters and civilians, all stared in awe. Humanity had faced annihilation and survived. Humanity had risen. Mara turned to Kyle. This is only the beginning. Others may come, but they will know not to underestimate us. Kyle smiled, determination in his eyes. And we'll be ready. Earth never surrenders. The resistance celebrated quietly. There were no grand speeches. Humanity had work to do, cities to rebuild, families to reunite, and a planet to heal. But the spark of hope burned brighter than ever. Far in the remnants of the Emperor's empire, fear spread. His followers had seen what humans could do. They had watched their leader fall. The cost of underestimating Earth would never be forgotten. Mara looked at the horizon, the first dawn breaking over the planet. Smoke drifted into golden sunlight and life stirred among the ruins. Earth has risen, she whispered, and the galaxy will never forget it. The Emperor's throne was shattered. His empire crumbled. Humanity stood tall, victorious, and ready for whatever challenges the stars might bring. The cost of pride had been written across the galaxy. Never humiliate Earth, for humanity always rises.